Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Tiff with Voices for Independence, Fitness and Activities. I'm here and I'm going to share a wonderful dinner recipe with you this afternoon. Okay, so right now we are still learning what to put into our meals to keep them healthy but delicious. This is an excellent recipe for everyone. There's multiple ingredients and steps, but it's super simple, very low cost on the ingredients as well. We are going to be making a cauliflower taco bowl with a homemade cilantro ranch dressing. These bowls are really popular right now. You see the taco bowls or the burrito bowls or the protein bowls. They even do breakfast bowls now with granola and fruits and yogurt. So it's a real popular meal item, and we are going to be able to make it right here for you. Now also, if you're into food prepping, or if you want to create something that you can have for several days in a row or a few days throughout the week, this is a great recipe. Again, there's some steps involved in this, but they're all very simple steps. All right, so to get started, what we're gonna do for our cauliflower taco bowl is we are gonna prep our cauliflower first. This is a vegetarian dish, so for all of you out there who don't eat meat, this is a great recipe for you. It also has vegan options, so look in the recipe in the comments below to see the vegan option. The thing that makes it vegan or not vegan is when we come to the dressing and we use a mayonnaise. There's vegan mayonnaise that doesn't have egg in it because vegans do not eat eggs because it's an animal product. So that's really the only ingredient that may affect you vegans out there. So obviously you know that, and watch your ingredients. All right, so for the cauliflower, for our taco bowl, our cauliflower is going to become like our meat would be in a traditional taco dish. So we're going to take 2 cups of chopped cauliflower. I actually got rice cut cauliflower. You can get it at your local grocery, or you can use the chopped cauliflower like I had the other day. This is just what was available. It's a little bit finer chop. If you want a little bit bigger pieces, you can buy the chopped, or you can chop your own. Now, what you're gonna do is you are gonna take your 2 cups of cauliflower and you're gonna add them to a bowl. I'm just not doing it now because I prepped it because this has to go in the oven. So I'm going to show you the finished product in a moment. So you're going to take 2 cups of cauliflower. You're going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And then you're going to take a half of an onion and a half of a red pepper. I just took 2 small ones because that's what I had. These are not hot. These are just those bag of little peppers. And then you're going to have 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning. What you're gonna do is mix all those ingredients together in a bowl, and then we're gonna place it on a baking sheet, which I have done here, and we're going to place it in a, let me just move my spatula so we don't drop that. You're gonna place it in a 425 degree oven for about 30 minutes. So virtually you're gonna roast your cauliflower. It looks delicious, it smells delicious, very taco-y. It has our onions, our peppers, and our taco seasonings on it. So this is already ready to go. It was in the oven. This can be served warm or cold depending on how you like it. So that's all ready. But when you're making it home, while that is baking in the oven or roasting, you can work on the next layer of your taco bowl. And I want to give you a tip because we're going to need more taco seasoning. If you don't have the packet taco seasoning at home, or you want to make your own because you're trying to eat really clean and just eat pure products, pure ingredients without a lot of additives in it, because this has some dextrose and it has sugar, citric acid. So if you're trying to stay away from processed foods, here is a recipe real quick. I'm just gonna do a side note here and whip this up fast of a homemade taco seasoning. I'll share this recipe in the comments below, and I will also then get right back to our regular. So what you're gonna want to do, I'm just making a little bit. I'm halving the recipe that I'll be showing you below. You can save this in a little glass container if you so desire, because it does make a bit, and which is nice because then you can just have it in a little, you can even put it in an empty seasoning container and shake it onto your dishes when you need taco seasoning. All right, so we're gonna take 3 tablespoons of chili powder. Again, this is for homemade taco seasoning. And then we are going to take 4 teaspoons of cumin, Making sure I grab my right ingredient here. These are all great seasonings you can have in your cupboard. And that's 2, pardon me, because I'm halving it, 2 teaspoons of cumin. And then we're gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. So let me get my paprika out, making sure I put my lids on the right containers here. 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. And we'll get the little half in there. And then we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. So we'll get those next. So lots of combinations here, but this is a great way to make your own at home. And it's more natural ingredients without a lot of additives and preservatives to keep the shelf life that they have to do in processed foods. That's why it's really quite easy to start getting away from those processed foods. There's always a way to supplement or make it on your own, folks. It's not as hard as it looks. It just takes a little bit of effort, maybe a little more time, but remember, we're putting all this time is going into our health and wellness, and it's less time we'll have to put into our illness. Remember that, folks. It costs less in the long run. And then we're just going to put a little bit of black pepper for taste, and then you're just going to mix that together, and that's all there is to it for your own homemade taco seasoning. So I'm just going to mix that up a little bit with my knife here. Blend all your seasonings together, and then you can just sprinkle it or measure out the amount you need. So perfect. It took no time at all, and we're going to be using it in the next step. All right, while our cauliflower taco rice is roasting in the oven, what we're going to do is make our brown rice layer next. So what you'll need for this is a tablespoon of olive oil, 2 cups of cooked brown rice. I'm actually using, I'm cheating, folks. I didn't use plain brown rice. I used a quick version. I love these ready in 90 seconds, microwave in a bag ones. This is a whole grain brown rice, and it's quinoa and lentils. So it's a little bit of a mixture, but it's still all natural ingredients. The only thing added to this is a little bit of sunflower oil, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. So it's still all real ingredients in a prepackaged food. So that's great. We're going to be using that for our brown rice. You'll need your other half of chopped onion and pepper. Then you'll need 1 can of frozen, or 1 cup of frozen or canned corn, rinsed and drained. And you'll need 1 can of black beans, rinsed and drained. So we're going to get started here. I'm just going to dice up my half a red pepper, or my small red peppers real quick, and my half an onion to go in my rice layer of my cauliflower taco bowl. Again, these are great to use. This recipe is great to use in food prep because it makes enough, and you can mix and match your ingredients. If you don't want to layer it all into a bowl, I'm just going to throw it right in here because we're going to be mixing it in a minute. If you don't want to layer these different ingredients into a taco bowl, you can use them individually in other recipes. So it's very versatile. After you have it for dinner tonight, make sure you store your rice and then your cauliflower separately, and you can create other meals throughout the week. So what we're going to do is dice up our half an onion as well, and we're going to add that in. I need to get some sharper knives. All right, so you can use, it calls for a red onion just because they're not quite as strong. I just have yellow or white onions at my house, but I really enjoy onion. I think they're so flavorful and add a great taste, and we all like onion here, so I don't mind using a little bit stronger onion in my recipes. But lots of times people would like purple onion. If you're not cooking them, which this part is not going to be baked or cooked, lots of times people like to use the purple onion because they're not quite as strong and they're easier on the palate when you're just eating them raw. All right, so we have our onion in there. We're going to cut up our 1 last red pepper, seeding it and taking out the membrane as well, just because it's obviously you don't want to eat the seeds. They're not good for you to digest, and the membrane can be a little bit hard to digest as well. The membrane is the center pieces inside of your vegetables, mostly in peppers and then sometimes citrus foods. All right, so we're gonna slice these up and then dice them into little bite-sized pieces. That'd be great inside a taco. So remember, our cauliflower right now would be in the oven roasting for 30 minutes at 425 degrees. About halfway through, about the 15-minute mark, you will want to flip your cauliflower around, toss it around a little bit so it gets roasted on all sides. All right, so to our bowl, we are adding our pepper, our onion, and then I just want to make sure I get all our ingredients in here. We are going to add next is our 2 cups of brown rice. Let me get everything. Sorry, folks. Working in a small space with this many ingredients can be challenging sometimes. So we're going to get our brown rice and mix that right in as well. If you wanted to, you could saute the peppers and onions, but you can also do them raw at this point also. And then we're going to combine the rest of the ingredients for the brown rice, which is going to be 1 tablespoon of our olive oil. And then we're going to add our corn and our black beans in as well. 1 tablespoon there, and then we need a whole can of black beans, rinsed and drained, which I have here. I just put them back in my can for ease of demonstration after I rinsed and drained them. We need 1 cup of the corn. So let's measure that out. This is all great ingredients for a great taco. It's almost like a burrito bowl. I almost feel it's more of a burrito bowl. We're gonna add 4 ounces can of green diced chilies. You can just don't have to drain those. You can put the liquid right in with it. And then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of that homemade taco seasoning, or if you're using your taco packet, you want 2 tablespoons, so it's not the whole packet. I believe there's like 3 or 4 tablespoons in a traditional packet of taco seasoning. And then lastly, what you can add if you want, and I'm going to because we really love it. I sometimes, instead of using taco seasoning, when I'm making traditional tacos with ground beef or ground turkey, instead of taco seasoning, I will use a salsa. So for this recipe, they say you can go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of your favorite salsa to the rice mixture as well. So I'm going to do that because I think it just brings a great flavor. And lots of times if you don't like the heat of the taco seasoning, you can find a milder salsa. Like this is a pineapple salsa, has a little bit of sweetness to it from those pineapples, and it can tone down that spice of the taco for those of you who don't like or can't have a lot of that heat. So we're just gonna mix this together. Again, if you want to, during the process of making your dish, you can put this in a skillet and just let it saute for about 5 minutes. Just heat it through. It doesn't take much. You don't have to cook it long, or you can just warm it up in the microwave or on the stovetop in this fashion as well. So there you go. The corn and rice layer is ready. So we have our cauliflower layer ready. We have our corn and rice. And then we just need to make that amazing homemade, let me set that over here, cilantro ranch dressing. Again, we're doing it homemade, so we're going to need 1 more bowl. And then for the ranch dressing, again, if you're vegan, that means you don't eat any animal products, you don't want any eggs, make sure you use your vegan mayo. I'm just using a regular mayo we have here in the house. And let me get my 1/2 cup. So for this, because again, it's a dressing, it's something extra, so we want to have it in moderation. This is not something you want to drench your salad in. It's just for a little extra taste, because mayo is, even if you get the vegan or the one with the avocado oil or what have you, it still has a lot of fat in it, sometimes healthy fats depending on the oil, but still you want to have that in moderation. So we're going to add our 1/2 cup of mayo. Again, I just don't want to misinform anybody because it says vegan cilantro ranch. You definitely have to buy a vegan, which is an egg-free mayonnaise at the store. You can get it, I'm not sure if you can get it at a big box store, but I know you can get it at a Whole Foods or your local co-op, or probably in a section at a more specialty, just straight grocery store. The big box stores that sell everything from food to home items is less likely to have our vegan options, especially if you're living in a smaller community, unfortunately. All right, to this, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And I'm just gonna use my measuring spoon I use for my taco seasoning. So 1 tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar, and then we're going to add some cilantro, either fresh or dried. It says a half a bunch, but when it's dried it's more concentrated, so I'm just going to take a large pinch of cilantro, and then we're going to take about a teaspoon of minced garlic. It's over here. It calls for 4 cloves of garlic, but if you're using minced, a half a teaspoon is equivalent to 1 clove. So we're going to use 2 teaspoons of garlic in our cilantro ranch dressing. And then some basil. If you have fresh basil, use about 5 leaves. If you have dried basil, I am just going to shake some on there. Again, it's dried and crushed when it's in this form. And lastly, we're going to add some salt and pepper to taste and whisk this up. Add your salt, add your add your pepper. I was just going to say probably the most time-consuming part of this whole recipe is going to be getting your ingredients out. But it's important. Although, don't let that discourage you. Although eating fresh and making your own ingredients, like our dressing here, our taco seasoning, it might take a little bit more time, but it's well worth the investment because you know exactly what's going into the product. And there you go. You have it, your homemade cilantro ranch dressing to go on your cauliflower taco burrito bowl. So when you're ready to serve, folks, get your bowl out, stack some of that great greens on there, whether it be fresh spinach or a mixed green salad. Put your cauliflower rice on top, and then add your taco bean rice mix topped off with your cilantro lime dressing. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. When we prepare it later this evening for our dinner, I will definitely have it all put together and share a picture, but you have all your pieces you need. You can store them separately in an airtight container in the refrigerator and have them throughout the week. So again, guys, try making this. It's worth it. It's worth the investment and the time in making your own food so you know what's going into your body. Thanks, guys. I will let you know how it turns out, and I hope to see you back soon.